This is the network service of the NTA.
Hello and welcome to your favorite weekend show. Every Saturday and Sunday we are here to ensure that you have a very fantastic weekend, and we do this by dealing in matters that are important to you, your general development and the development of our nation, Nigeria. Today on the show, our focal point is on leadership in contemporary Nigeria. Most times when people talk about leadership, when something happens, especially when something goes wrong, you hear people say it is a leadership problem. And once leadership is mentioned, everybody looks up. But what exactly is leadership and who is a leader? Well, I took my time to look for the definition of this very simple word, and I saw so many definitions, but I'll be reading two out to you. The first one says, leadership is the action of leading a group of people or an organization. And the second one says, leadership is the act of motivating a group of people to act towards achieving a common goal. Today on our show, we'll be looking at leadership from different angles and different levels. And we have a very important guest that will be weighing in on this very important topic. It is Weekend Deal, coming to you live from the network service of the NTA. My name is Patient Eloy Abba, and I am delighted to be here. The reason for my delight is simple. It is because you have joined us on today's show. Well, our feedback lines will soon be on display. Please join the conversation. Once again, thank you for keeping a date with us. Okay, if you're just joining us, it is Weekend Deal, coming to you live from the network service of the NTA. And today, our spotlight is on leadership in Nigeria. Leadership can also be described as the capacity to translate vision into reality. Leadership entails a whole lot, but not to worry, our first feature, which is a backgrounder, will not only set the tone for our show, but also tell us all we need to know as far as leadership is concerned, and it is put together by Francis Ogbe.
Barely 60 years of nationhood, the most critical challenge confronting Nigeria appears to be that of credible leadership. Many scholars have queried why Nigeria seems to find it difficult to address her perennial leadership problems in spite of abundant human and natural resources available at her disposal.
The problem of Nigeria, as many think, is leadership. Yes, to an extent you will say leadership has contributed. But if you look at the so-called leadership we are talking about, where are they emerging from? They are emerging from the society that have been complaining over the leadership. And today or tomorrow or next tomorrow, they are the leaders. And the system is getting worse. It means that there is a problem that we must all together solve so that we can have solution to the lingering poor leadership in our country.
I'll be honest to say that Nigeria's problem, I won't really put all the problems of Nigeria and heap them on the heads of leadership. Leadership is key because wherever the leader goes, the followers would follow. It's almost like a chicken and egg scenario. The followers that throw up the leaders. What about the followers that sell their franchise, quote unquote, their birthright? They're also the problem.
One of the challenges confronting leadership is that of corruption, as it fuels bad governance, erodes public confidence, undermines public service delivery, and entrenches square pegs in round holes in leadership positions. It is a major impediment to governance.
when we say corruption, who is corrupt? Is it the person giving? Is it the person taking? Is it the person demanding? And we all experience it. The individuals put so much pressure on those they've elected, and then those they've elected now are forced to find ingenious ways of satisfying the needs of the people that they're representing or governing. And so immediately one is elected into office, his or her phone starts ringing non-stop. There's a demand for paying for school fees, for burial. That is one cause of corruption, because there's so much pressure put on that individual.
There are cases where people were caught even, collecting and giving bribe. Some were said they were set up, and the rest of them, are they in jail? So you see, you can only fight corruption if you take away impunity.
One of the cornerstones of leadership is integrity. It is about aligning the inner world of your belief, ethics, commitment, values, and desires with actions and behavior in the outer world.
When leaders say something and they do not fulfill, the people do not hold them accountable. There is no need for a politician to make promises when you know that you do not have an iota of truth in what you are saying, or the capacity to fulfill such.
Nigerian youth are in dire need of credible leadership. One of the ways to achieve this critical need is through mentorship, to ensure a pool of opinion leaders who impact on the younger generation.
Mentoring is very good. Having leadership centers to mentor, to teach what people should do is excellent. But the best way to mentor is for the young people to see the older people practicalizing what they wish that they should become in the future.
In the political sphere, they look at mentors as people who will give them money. The generality of people feel that once you get into office, you've won the lottery, and therefore you're there to mentor those behind you on how to get into office, get into politics. And that's not mentorship, because mentorship is something that is gradual. You actually tutor somebody through the right process: hard work, focus, determination, tenacity, sticking to something, and not feeling, one or two connections, that's mentorship. That's not mentorship, that's bribery.
Leaders are not necessarily those who hold formal leadership positions. On the contrary, all people are potential leaders.
If a child is growing up and knows nothing else but fraud, you don't expect that child to think differently. You don't expect that child to perform differently. Now, so, as I said, the family unit, we all know how, or should know how to raise good, godly children. And that's the bedrock of forming a good society.
The failure of the leadership of the family is the first failure that we are suffering from. That is the first of all of them. The family leadership has failed completely. And that is why all manner of people we are churning them out of families into society. People with no decorous behavior, people with no shame in their face, people that have any form of rejection to anything that brings money, people that do not show sincerity in any form. Leadership, as they say, is far beyond political leadership. In fact, political leadership is the only leadership that is so visible, but yet ineffective.
Our focus on Weekend Deal today will be on leadership in contemporary Nigeria.
Well, leadership, integrity in leadership is key. And what the Honorable Member said, the family unit is very important in grooming leaders. Leadership skills, it can actually, we start grooming them from the home. You know how they say that the charity begins at home. Our next feature put together by Charles Obike is on parenting and leadership.
No. Don't make me angry. Don't make me angry right now.
Fundamental qualities and foundation of parental upbringing in families and homes are the credo qualities of future leaders.
I would say truly the family plays a very huge role in bringing up good leaders. Presently, as we speak now, a lot of our leaders, if you check our present leaders, you'll find out that some of them came out from good homes, some had good upbringings, and this also plays a very good role in the society. It makes the society a better place. But when the family is disjointed and we don't have good family upbringing, definitely it affects adversely to the society.
A lot of things are involved in raising kids. You must always listen to them. You must be, if you're not close to your child, nothing is happening. The child will be, she will be keeping, he or she will be keeping secrets from you. You won't even know what he or she is doing. But when you're free, you make them to be very free with you. You make them to open up to you. In case if they want to discuss anything, some children are being abused, but they can't open up. And some of these leaders, they've passed through hell when they were growing up. Nobody to talk to. Their parents are not there. Some of them don't even have parents. Some of them grew up with their stepsisters or stepmother or stepfather. It has not been easy for so many people that pass through that tunnel. So a lot of things are involved. Like me as a mother, I take very good care of my kids. I try to make them feel free with me. I try to discuss things. At times I will raise a topic with them to know how they think, how they reason at their age.
Unique leadership conveys love, care, and sacrifice with readiness to suffer for the sake of others.
What I think we should face now as a country is to the leadership in the country look at themselves again, sit up and make sure that they provide a credible leadership right at governmental level, then at institutional level. What I mean by institutions like schools, bureaucracy, government institutions, and so on and so forth. Make sure that things are done the way they are supposed to be done. If our citizens, our youth, I think, come up and discover that this is how things are done, they will follow suit.
The task of leadership means service and respect to the weaknesses of others. Our modern culture screams at immorality, corruption, low esteem, insecurity, and lack of trust, respect, and improper service to wider community. With good ideals from our homes, you will learn to lead well as you lead, if you lead humbly.
Well, that's true. The role of family in grooming leaders can never be overemphasized. Okay, I told you when I started that we're happy you have joined us and we want you to also join the conversation. Our feedback lines is on display. Kindly let's hear your opinion, your questions, recommendations. It is important that you are part of this very important discussion. Okay, we have established that the home is very important as far as honing the skill of leadership of children is concerned. The next step is school. And here we are talking about the primary and the secondary school. You remember that class prefect that will always write your name or when you make noise in the class? That one you didn't like. Well, we have prefects, we have form of leadership in the secondary school, and that plays a very important role in, again, grooming leadership quality. This next feature from TVE, it's on breeding school, ETV Lagos. It's on the role of schools in breeding leaders for the society.
What is drama? Can anyone answer? Yes, Chikaima. Very good. Clap for her.
Education is a process of acquiring knowledge, skills, values, morals, beliefs, and habits. It can take place at home, online, or in schools. Education, both in primary and secondary school, is meant to groom pupils to become great leaders and help them deal with situations of life as they grow. Are Nigerian pupils prepared to face life challenges?
I don't think so. Theory work is more than practical. There are so many graduates who say they are engineers, but that they cannot use boats. They cannot remove boats from engine. Not to talk of constructing a new engine. Theory is more than the practical they teach them in higher institutions. And this leads to frustration.
Effective leadership has always been a great issue in Nigerian system of governance. Being a leader is a valuable skill which every school is to instill in children, preparing them for success by fostering skills which good leaders possess. So in what ways are schools preparing our future leaders for leadership roles?
We have had debates. We have also had presentations in assemblies. They will give us like species of insects to talk about where they live and where you can find them and everything. And that's all that we do.
Leader is expected to coordinate the other mates to attain leadership.
We go to excursion. The school takes us out for excursions. Some places they take us to are examples like Shodex Gardens and Play Place. And we see how that place is organized. We meet different people there, and we also see how the leadership works, and it's really good.
One thing is paramount, and that is discipline. Discipline is a structure that helps the child to fit into the world happily and effectively.
We also have what we call Student Representative Council. It's more or less like the government of the school. And so we have people in there, decisions are taken that affect the school. So they are more or less like the lawmakers. So we allow them to have input into the school rules and regulations.
Parents should not be left out of the process, as the home is the first place of contact.
Yes, some of the parents are not helping the matter, in the sense that they will leave, say they pay the school fees, teacher is there to do the whole job. No, we parents, we have our own role to play at home.
My fourth son, is charged with the duty of taking care of the younger ones. Yes, he plays the fatherly role when the father is not there, and the others, they obey.
The society, parents need to come up and know that leadership is not about the presidency, the governorship, and the rest of them. It starts from the grassroots and then move up.
Though some school subjects like civic education, entrepreneurship were introduced to Nigerian school curriculum to inspire leadership culture in children. Some educationists are of the opinion that school curriculum still needs more restructuring in order to meet up with the modern changes in the world.
Most times, you do not have topics that relates to leadership and all of that. So we will employ those in charge of designing curriculum to try and inculcate some of all these topics so that they can be taught in class.
Help at home, give them jobs, give them works, divide jobs for them, give them roles to play that will bring out these leadership qualities in them. These are the vanguards of tomorrow.
Schools must continue to introduce more programs that will stimulate curiosity in the young mind and equip them with tools to become great leaders.
Okay, interesting. Joining us is our first guest, a mother, a politician, a lawyer. She was a member of the 8th Assembly, and she's here today to weigh in on this very important conversation. She is Barrister Mrs. Rita Oji. You're welcome to Weekend Day Studios.
Thank you very much. Thank you, viewers.
It's a pleasure meeting you. Like I told you when you walked in here, I didn't know you looked so young. I was wondering. You look great. Okay, we are looking at leadership. How will you describe a leader?
A leader, in general terms, means a person leading group of persons. It might be in organizations, it might be in political terrain, it might be in the home, it might be in the market, anywhere you find yourself. That is a wide scope of what is called leadership.
Okay.
Leadership does not exist in isolation.
Okay, you just took me to my next point. Leadership does not exist in isolation. Many times in Nigeria, when anything goes wrong, we say it's a leadership problem. Since leadership does not exist in isolation, does it mean that the problem we are seeing at the top or manifesting broadly in leadership is a problem from the society, our orientation, our behavior, and our convictions? Could it be that, since you say leadership does not even exist in isolation?
Yeah. Leadership, as I described, has attributes. Yes, it doesn't exist in isolation. But in the other way, it makes you stand firm. If you are really somebody that, you are the mentor, you are a mirror to the mentee. So it calls for a higher level of discipline so that people will look at you and imitate you. Because leadership is very wide. It's not just mentoring. No, mentoring is a part of leadership. Now, the problem of leadership emanates from even the lead and the leaders. A leader that cannot stand firm and take a decision, no matter whose horse is called, is one of the problems of leadership. Because if you refuse to remove your eyes from the detractors and feed your goals, you cannot stand as a leader. It is different things for different folks. Let me come into the home, for instance. We are told that the husband is the head of the house. The wife is the neck. The leadership revolves around the husband and wife. But really, it wasn't there alone. The children should be meant to take leadership too. From the first child to the last. The first should be seen as a step parent. That was definitely how my mother brought us up. My elder sister, we look at her the way we look at our mother. As soon as my mom leaves the house, she directs. And we were told not to query or say anything contrary. And she was brought up to give only strict instructions that my mother will not beat her up at the end of the day. So she will always go by that word. I remember my mother will always tell you, even if you are getting married, you are doing anything, you are the mirror of this family you are living. So whenever you go there, they will be seeing the family. So whatever you do is not on your own alone. It's on all of us.
The family.
It's a reflection. So, and we were 7 of us, we put heed to that. Then when we come about the children or the younger generation away from family, we are talking about organizations. In an organization where you have a leader that is fickle-minded, it triple down on the lead. Because when you come to an organization, a lot of people, maybe you are the higher person, you are rich, some will be press singers amongst the lead. Some will not tell you what is wrong amongst the lead because of patronage. But a leader must be able to stand and say, I brought this roster out. This person is going to head this department. And somebody will say, no. It's not this, it's not that. Malign or insult or say something bad in order to make sure that that person in that first position couldn't stand there. But the leader will be able to stand and say, why do you say I should remove her or remove him from the position I put? If you're a leader that cannot ask that question and you Nicodemously remove the name because you are being criticized for putting.
I like that, Nicodemously.
Definitely, because that is what is killing leadership in Nigeria. You can't stand somebody tell you, don't put her. You say, I don't want problem, let me remove her. Because that person they are attacking might be a cerebral person. She or he might be the best for that task. But because you are fickle-minded, you can't stand by your word as a leader. Let me remove her because I don't want problem. That means you are not qualified to be a leader because you are passing that to the lead too. When they come to your direction again, when they are up to your level, or maybe when you are off there and they take over, they can't take decisions too. They will always go by your side. So this is an organization, I'm telling you. Right now, in the political leadership, that is where you have the worst form, where this notion of, oh, let us bury our ideologies and work together. That's the worst English I ever had.
Let us bury our ideologies and work
together.
But without ideologies, what are you doing?
Because one person, two persons, three persons has gotten information from their godfathers that it shouldn't be that way. So you bury your ideology. So what are you doing there?
Who would have thought? We're going to go back to that. We're going to even look at the issue of mentorship and godfatherism. But let's take this next feature. It's on the impact of the SUG government, the impact of SUG government, that's student union in the university, on leadership in Nigeria.
For meaningful development to take place in any society, education is undoubtedly the foundation for effective organization and governance. In view of this, the national policy on education laid emphasis on the need for tertiary education to make optimum contribution to national development. Beyond the academic pursuit, institutions of higher learning therefore also serves as an avenue for students to practice various socio-cultural roles. Through this, they unconsciously learn cooperation, hard work, team spirit, punctuality, and most importantly, leadership role. One key component that is promoting leadership development in students is the student unionism, a political act of governance for student union bodies, popularly called Student Union Government, SUG.
I've been in my idea, it has been in my blood, striving, leading for students, and also getting them to where we should be, so that students' priority, students' interest will always be sinking to the heart of our government leaders in the state. So these have been when I've been not seeing the agenda, and which I'm happy that I'm in the position which I wish and wanting to be right now.
In Nigeria, the history of student unionism dates back to the early 19th century during the colonial era. And there was a time the student union was the worry of the ruling class in the country, and it became the platform for political parties to recruit the most eloquent and strong union leaders as members. However, the story is quite different today. What has changed with the SUG system in most schools? And what are the leadership challenges at that level?
I was a unionist. I was a deputy speaker in the parliament, and we did all our best. But the recruitment process of admission into universities, it has now become something else. An average student that didn't pass O level, it was actually Expo. And average student that didn't pass JAM. So those are the things that actually affected what is happening in student union government in schools. You cannot see seriousness. When we were in school, while we were unionists, we're not lacking our academics.
Those set of people that were trained, that believe they are the one ruling on as a leader, are the ones suppressing this exact union leader we have. Because they believe during their own time that they're able to fight the government, fight the military errors and other stuff. They have the power. But now, the training they undergone, or the power they have then and they build, are the one they use to suppress the current leader now, which is seriously affecting the union. That shows they are not going to produce the vibrant leader in the future.
One of the greatest impediments to the growth and survival of the country, Nigeria, is corruption. How much has the menace influenced the student unionism? Is the experience at that level different from the country's political structure?
Student union, we believe in synergy. If there is a very strong synergy between you and your co-executive and your maybe like team members, anything you say you are doing, that's what you are doing. And what's really affecting outside politicians is just, should I say, maybe the influence out there. The influence. Okay, here in the school, you can't tell me that anybody will negotiate me for any amount, so I don't need to change my stand. The student is not enjoying the facilities. I have to stand by that my student, because they voted me in.
The way the student union budget, finances, report and everything is being scrutinized. If it is the way Nigeria budget and the finances is being scrutinized, most of these leaders could have been in jail.
If the young ones are the future leaders, then it is important to encourage student participation in institutional governance for effective and efficient leadership and governance, not only within the four walls of tertiary institutions, but also in Nigeria as a whole.
Student union government has come a long way. My guest is still in the house, Barrister Rita Oji. Were you involved in student union way back? Did you start from there?
No.
Oh, you didn't? You didn't like that?
My mother never allowed me to get involved in student unionism.
So at what point did you decide to?
After university.
After university, you decided to go into politics?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, an average lawyer is a politician.
Okay, that's another way of looking at it. Okay, something about your training that just propels you into wanting to go into
justice,
leadership.
Thinking, oh, if I go into this terrain, that will be an avenue for me to make that change that is needed.
Okay.
Because we are lacking serious social change. It's not just ordinary change. Because when you enter leadership, you have already signed a social contract with the lead.
Interesting. Okay, these days when you talk to people about leadership, they make reference to the past leaders. Obafemi Awolowo, Tafawa Balewa. Is it that right now we no longer have leaders? Can't we start? No, it's becoming, everybody's referring to the past. And I'm wondering, don't we have leaders that have done as well or even better than our past leaders? Or are they going to remain our reference point forever?
Really, I will just commence this answer with one joke made by an American. He said, when you come to America, America will ask you, what can you do? When you go to Europe, Europe will ask you, what's your qualification? When you come to Africa, they will ask you who sent you. This is already a known, even though joke, but it's a known procedure. When you are looking at, we are relying on past leaders. Nigerians don't celebrate a living leader. They celebrate the dead ones. That is what I have seen. It's my personal opinion, right? Mobolaji Johnson was perfect in telecom industry. Aruna Ote was superb in SEC. This our Okonjo-Iweala was superb as a minister of finance. But did we praise them when they were on that seat? No. Politically, a lot of people want to bring them down. They possess the PhD, pull him down, pull her down.
Yeah.
Because she or he does not belong to your political party. So whatever she or he does is not good. I felt that in my constituency too, because I'm in opposition. If I'm doing the road, they will block me and say you shouldn't do road. It's everywhere. I'm one who put borehole. Why would you do that? Are you the local government chairman? You see, they don't want heroes to grow because of political reasons. But when you look at Obafemi Awolowo, because they are gone, that's why we start seeing them. But there are living heroes, right?
Who are doing the right thing, even in Nigeria.
Even in Nigeria.
I agree.
If Okonjo-Iweala didn't get to WTO boss, people are already castigating and saying all sorts of rubbish about. Look at Akinwumi. When he was the Minister of Agric, you heard less of him. But when he moves from here to another terrain, another climb, that gives leaders chance to exhibit their qualities and characteristics, you see them shining. They become the shining stars. So there are living heroes here. Which Nigeria will change that nomenclature of celebrating dead heroes. There are younger generations that when you praise them for what they have done, they will do more. But the problem we have, you will still be referred to during the days, but it's not like that. In the legal profession, there are times you don't use computers, you don't use, judges use manual and everything. Right now, everything is computerized. How many of these younger ones that are doing wonderfully well in this profession you are present? No, you will still say, go back.
Okay.
That's it.
Interesting. Let's look at women in politics or in women in leadership. I mean, from the recently we see what has happened in Tanzania. Even as we mourn the late president, we celebrate the history-making first female president of Tanzania. A lot of us are rooting for her. A lot of us are praying for her. What is your take on all this?
I congratulated the girl child number 1 when she was sworn in. I wasn't happy that the president died. I never wished anybody that.
Nobody
but
wished,
when situations you cannot query God or call, there's nothing you can do. She is the first from Tanzania. We had one from West Africa, which is Ellen Selo.
Yes.
I'm not seeing only 2 of them as leaders. There are other leaders that are in different climes too.
Yeah.
But for her, my prayers was for her not to fall our hand. My people in Nigeria will say no fall our hand.
Yes, I agree.
That she should make a way for more female presidents, because it's like it's a touch. Whatever she does with these remaining years will be the lamp for other countries wanting to vote in a female as a president.
But do you think women are better leaders, given a chance? What do you think?
If I answer this question affirmatively, some people will say because I'm a woman. But I want to tell you in honest truth, women make better homes. Let me tell you one reason. No matter how many children, brothers, sisters, families were you married into, right? Name them. Ad infinitum, we still cope. The woman can still maintain the family and the relations. Women has been known to manage whatever they have. They have shame, unlike those with different anatomy. A woman will think about the children, what happens to them. If I do this, what will happen? Because every future about family is a woman. The husband has done well getting married. After that, every good or bad the child does comes from the woman. So women are very careful. In leadership, they are exceptional. They put their feet at the sign of time. Anywhere a woman had served, watch out. The goal is what they go for, not the object or subject. The goal. They fix their eyes on the goal and they come out with it.
More power to women, and that's why we are happy that recently the president is trying to make sure that the 35 affirmative action comes to play, and that women are given the positions, the desire in the society in order to move our society forward.
Would you want me to talk about that 35%?
Let's not talk about that. Let's see some of our messages. I know you want to go at it. I can see it, but we have some messages, and the first one says, good morning, guests. Some parents have no time for their children, and this is from Philippa. What would you want to say to such parents?
I always advise parents at the growing stage, please be there for the children, because at that new stage, at that new test, that kindergarten stage, their brains are their side, their reasoning, all of them are imaginary slate. Whatever they take in tarries for a long time. When children are grown up, you have given them what they want. They can fit in any generation. But at that earlier stage, where the English, the command, and everything they learn is from the family, parents should please don't joke with it. I never left my children until they are grown up. I never play full politics until my children are grown. Because if you miss the training from home, you've missed it all. Yes.
Okay. Okay, the 35 affirmative action. Women are not pulling their weight in participation in politics. You must agree. And some people won't say that when a woman comes out, women don't vote for women, and women are women's enemy, and all kinds of insinuations. What can we do to encourage full participation of women in politics and get them to attend these offices that we know they will deliver on?
One, this 35% affirmative, you know, I'm not among the women that go for it or support it. You know why?
No, why?
We've started hearing it for a long time. It's not about talking, it's about implementation. When political parties are looking for female followership, they will come out with different juicy proposals. 50%, 35%. These things are already known that they want to drag you to come and sing praises and become welfare officers for them and do this and that. At the end of the day, whenever election comes up fully, a woman is the only voter that is presently interested in voting for the person she wants to vote for. She goes there, Number one, she wants her child to go to school, so she's voting. She wants to have a good education, good water, she's voting, unlike the other counterparts. But right now, it is just a game from political parties to get female followers. That is what I call that affirmative. If not, after election, how many women are being appointed in various positions? That is one. Then secondly, we that are in politics can definitely tell you, the 35%, there are some females that work against their fellow female. There's no joke about that.
How do we change that? How do we change that?
How do we change it? It is their mindset. When a woman does not grow up values for herself, she comes into politics through one man, or that man will direct you, go after that woman. If you go, I'll give you this position, you will jump up. Some females have done it to me from Lagos. They say, why will she represent us? If you recently, the lobbying team that I was put in for 35%, it was a fellow women that were crying, why will she represent us? While I was among the facilitators of that. And then, this is what is happening. And they will hide under one umbrella to play. At the end of the day, is the mindset. And I say, the value of any woman that is in politics matters. Some don't really have a value. And that value they don't have is because they don't have plan B. They don't have any other thing except politics. So they believe they will tarry in politics. And if they couldn't do that, their senders, maybe male or female, send them today, they will fizzle out politically.
But I can just keep talking to you. You are just like a whole encyclopedia on women in politics. But time is not our friend. We have to end it. But I look forward, honestly, sitting with you again and having this conversation. We've been speaking to Honorable Rita Oji, a lawyer, a mother, a politician, a true leader, and she has told us what some of the challenges are and the way forward. We'll go on a short break. The deal continues. Don't go away. Okay, if you're just joining us, it is Weekend Deal coming to you from the network service of the NTA, and our focal point today is on leadership in Nigeria. Our guest is in the house and someone who honed his leadership skills early right from school, and today he's into mainstream leadership. He is Honorable Chairman of Kajuru Local Government Area of Kaduna State. Join me in welcoming to the Weekend Deal studio Honorable Kafra Kaino.
Thank you very much.
Sir, you're welcome to Weekend Deal. So today we are talking, it's all about leadership, and it's interesting to see a young leader like you. Tell me, what propelled you? I know you started from this university union, student union. What propelled you towards becoming a student leader?
Well, I wouldn't call it an accident, but then coming to school, we had a project, Drama 101. And in this project, we're supposed to come up with creativity, create something out of nothing, and then a kind of a project that touches the lives of people. And then we did a HIV/AIDS campaign. And then that project, I was chairman of a subcommittee. And from there, the popularity grew. I organized a concert in school, and then it was a very big thing back then in school. And from there, people felt, no, you need to run for an office. And so they decided I should run for Faculty of Arts, Director of Socials, and that was where it all began. Okay. I ran for that office as a 100-level student, and I won the office. The first time a 100-level student will get to that office, and from there, 200 level, I was already running for SUG, Director of Socials, and from there, I never returned.
Okay, I noticed a trend between people who involve themselves in SUG government and then how they translate into becoming or coming into mainstream leadership. Is there what's that thing that make you, after SUG, you want to now continue in real life?
After school, I worked for quite a number of years outside politics.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I was with Airtel for about 5 years, but every time some of my schoolmates come there, see me in the office, they just laugh and say, this is not where you belong. this is not where you belong. And I've noticed that over time, I've nurtured this, I've always had this passion, to lead, to just give that leadership service to people, to serve humanity. And so I felt it was time I tried something. I contested councillorship position. I never got to the primaries, and then from there, APC came, and then the youths, boom, we got an opportunity.
Tell me your personal experience. A very young person. I'm sure some of your opponents were way older than you.
Yes.
Yes. So how did they look at you? Did they take you seriously when you said you wanted to, contest against them for chairmanship? What was your experience?
Well, actually, in the beginning, I was the joke. I was the joke of the town. Everybody was saying, a very young boy, he wants to be chairman. Oh, I'm sure in their minds, they'll be like, your time is coming, don't worry, But then there was something about APC, the revolution, a lot of young people getting that opportunity. And thanks to His Excellency, Malam Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai, who provided that platform for a lot of young people in Kaduna State. We came on board, and then they wanted to give us an opportunity to see what we carry to, how we can participate in governance. And then that was the opportunity. A lot of young people were tired, and they wanted an opportunity, a younger person, so that they can have a different perspective of governance. And so, the youth rallied and then supported my movement. They were like, very young boy, this man, let's try and see how far we can go. Okay. And holding the largest portion of voters, electorates, I think we succeeded.
This is quite interesting. Kajuru local government is known to be very volatile, given the security challenges. You're a young man. How has it been leading this local government?
Well, like you said, very challenging. It's a good experience, but then it's sad that we had to go through this. First of all, whenever one talks about it, I always show my gray hair to show him a proof, a sign of all what we're going through. It's been very challenging, but I think on top of it all, we've learned a lot of concept about conflicts and about peace and how to, I always find myself, or the entire local government, we see it as an opportunity, or we count ourselves lucky because a young person is at the helm of affairs. Because I always wonder what would have happened if it were someone older than me. Because the running around, going there, attacks after attacks, it's not really, it's very challenging, very challenging. Sometimes at night, you find out you spend the entire night thinking of ways that you can bring people together, unite them, and forge ahead, looking for developmental strides to move the local government to the next level. So it's very challenging, I can see, but I thank God for the experience because anywhere you put me now when it comes to security challenges, I'll be able to perform. So it's been an eye-opener, but the place is a bit calm now, except for the banditry and all that. But I think we've learned a lot.
Interesting. Okay, we're looking at leadership generally. In Nigeria, most times when there is any problem, people will tell you it's a leadership problem. What is your take on leadership and integrity? I mean, seeing a young man, local government chairman, what has been your experience as far as that goes?
Well, leadership has been interesting, intriguing, and all that. My experience, and having to cope with the first time a person my age is at the helm of affairs in the local government. There's this part of people that believe you're young and then you can handle a lot of affairs. So that's one of the challenges we see. But over time, we've been able to prove that young people too can be very good at what they do. And there are young people that can be at the helm of affairs and governance and still perform excellently. Because we have the right atmosphere, of course, environments, given a governor that always supports.
Okay.
I think leadership so far, I think it's good. We've been able to put in a lot of structures, creativity, thinking outside the box.
Yes.
That's what it comes with young people being at the helm of affairs. For older people, they would rather wait till allocation comes before they're able to do something for the local government. But given the global trend of activities now and the kind of innovative ideas we bring to the local government, we've been able to achieve a lot even without resources. You know, giving support from partners, you know, NGOs and all that. We go solicit for activities and programs to empower the youth. You know, and besides that, the women also, you know, giving them a sense of taking them out to learn trade, skills, and all that. And also our relationship with government, given, like I said, a governor that is always supportive. Yes, he's been able to bring a lot of projects for us, and we've been able to achieve.
Talking about a governor who is supportive, something just popped in my mind, and I'm thinking mentorship. Do you know, in Nigeria politics, the line between mentorship and godfatherism is so thin, it's practically blurry. You know, everybody needs a mentor. Like some people argue there's mentor in every field of endeavor, but when it comes to politics, it's godfatherism.
Well, you know, when you talk of a godfather is someone who sponsors your election and then dictates what you do as a public servant. Tells you do this, don't do that, you know, do this, give me that, you know. But I think a mentor is someone who just shapes or guides you through the path and then ensures that you succeed and progress. I think my number one mentor in politics is Malam Nasiru Ahmed El-Rufai. He's a father to all and is a mentor to a lot of people in Kaduna State, in fact. Because Malam is someone who sees potentials and takes advantage, brings you in, gives you an opportunity. And if you do well, you move to the next level. That's what he has been to us. And he has true policies. And also, you know, observance of due process and all that. He has been able to shape us.
Let me just put you there. He doesn't hold on to you after he has mentored you. He's not your godfather. He just lets you go. Because a lot of people say politicians don't like intelligent people. They'll rather have you under their strain. That's what your experience, is it?
Yeah, for Malam Nasiru El-Rufai, I think it's the contrary, it's the opposite. Because if you're not very intelligent, you find it very difficult to work with him. He likes very intelligent people. He works with very intelligent people. And that's why he's doing great things in Kaduna State, such that we've never seen, you know. So for him, it's a different thing. And also, I have my senator, Malam Dr. Ubasani, is also someone I look up to, also, because he has been able to support us through our work and then see that we get to this level too.
I was watching you, I was on YouTube, and a week to your election, I heard you say things like, so among the things you said you're going to do, you said, I'm going to bring a bank. There's nowhere we can do transaction in Kajuru. I'm going to bring a bank to Kajuru. The next thing you said, there's a market called Kasomageni.
Yeah, Kasomageni.
And that you're going to reconstruct it and make it viable.
Yeah.
Time have passed. I want to ask you, have you been able to achieve those?
Well, yes. Among my campaign promises, I've been able to achieve about 90% of my campaign promises. Kajuru never had any banking facility, no financial institution in Kajuru local government, apart from, of course, the regular POS, which is just a recent thing in our local government. But with the coming of the Kasomageni ultra-modern market, it was born in 2018, and the market activities stopped until 2019. After I became chairman, I came and reopened the markets, and the market is very viable, and economic stability has come to stay in Kajuru local government. And the governor always wanted to construct a market for us after then, but after my coming, I made some efforts and paved way, and the governor has brought a 2.7 billion naira investment into Kajuru, the first we've ever seen in the local government. In fact, in Kajuru local government, we've never seen a project of 200 million. But this is the first time we're seeing 2.7 billion. The market has been completed. We're waiting for commissioning of the market. And it delights me to inform you that the market comes with 2 banking facilities, not just one.
Wow.
I was targeting one, but I have 2 banking facilities.
Interesting.
4 ATMs that is going to be stationed in the market. So I think we've made a lot, and then I've been able to achieve that. So you can say we have a pass.
So what are some of your challenges? Because before now, we hear that the local government system it's not performing. A lot of people say that the local government system are not doing what? Fulfilling their mandates. You know, so what are some of your challenges as a local government chairman?
Well, for local government, I think, yes, I believe Generally in the country, there's a lot of challenge, and because some people are not putting the resources where it should be, and local government remains a very vital tool into nation development. Because if we're able to develop the local governments, I think the nation itself will experience a revolution in development. But for us in Kaduna State, like I said, we have a supportive governor who gives us the room and the opportunity to operate, independently, supervised by the ministry though. But in Kaduna State, I think we have, I can say, autonomy.
Okay.
Yes, we're doing well. You decide what you want to do with your funds.
Interesting.
Your funds come, you decide what you want to do. Okay. There's no interference. There's no... So for us in Kaduna State, we have that opportunity to do what we want to do with our funds. Okay. But I'm hoping that other states will also emulate from what Malam Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai is doing in Kaduna State. And I'm sure that we'll have...
Okay. So the Nigerian youth is a large population. They're the energy of the nation. They're the future of the nation. What do you think we can do to refocus their minds into nation building so that we can harness their potential in order for our country, Nigeria, to be great again?
Well, first of all, I must say I'm proud of the youths because of what we carry. The kind of Nigerian youths are very fast in learning, and also some of the best brains in the world. So very unfortunate that some people have given themselves to idle activities, and that has created a lot of problems for us. I'm talking about fraudster and all that. But then I think majority of the youths are doing well. They just need an enabling environment in order to... There's a lot of creativity, a lot of ideas with the youth. But I see government is doing a lot, the federal government especially, with their interventions and their support to a lot of programs. But the problem is some youths do not look to this opportunity. And largely, I wouldn't blame them because I think they always refer back to the past, whereby you have to know somebody in order to get an opportunity, to bring your ideas into fruition. But I think it's time that the youths know that a lot has changed in the political economy. Government now doesn't need to... You don't need to know someone in government before you're given an opportunity. Okay. There are a lot of programs online. You apply, and if you have a perfect idea, a good idea, you'll be supported with funds. CBN interventions, a lot of other interventions, and you can always go and try that thing you've always had passion for. I think it's time we stop looking at white-collar jobs because skills is gradually taking over. The whole is a global trend. So people should try to develop their human capacity development should be more directed at skills, building, ICT and all that, because that is the new word now. We just need to look and focus on that direction.
Potentials everywhere. We just need to find them, locate them, and latch on. Thank you so much, Honorable Kaino, for coming to the studio. We've been speaking with a young leader who is the Honorable Chairman of Kajuru Local Government Area. And that's the size of our show here too. We'll be back tomorrow and the conversation will continue. God bless Nigeria. Goodbye.